co-host.
We got the WNBA is never happy. The season might be canceled. Players want 27.5% of league revenue, but the league calls it unrealistic and could cost teams hundreds in losses if the season is suspended. We got a video clip of what's going on currently. Let's check it out.
Yes.
And then Adam Silver this weekend says we are nearing the 11th hour.
We have been ready since day one. We have had a level of urgency, which is also why I was kind of confused by Adam's comments and we did not hear anything for 6 weeks. That, I believe, was to stir panic and to cause pressure to build, which I will say that there was frustration. There is frustration. If we were to gauge the level of urgency from the league, it appears more that there was more interest in taking advantage of negotiations rather than actually negotiating. That's where we were left with 6 weeks to just use that time to meet with individuals. Now we finally got a response back. We can get the ball rolling in a way that can give us a timely 2026 season.
Do you think the current leadership that is in place really wants to take care of its players?
An excellent question. I'm going to say yes to that in a few weeks.
She's like, I can't say it right now. If you all have to exercise the nuclear option of going on strike, what kind of lasting impact could that have on the league?
I mean, there's going to be the impact of novelty because it hasn't ever happened in our league. If a strike occurs, and when we get this transformational deal signed, I really do feel like it's going to set the tone for CBAs to come. I'm speaking from experience. Things have changed with each agreement, and players have changed. The league has changed. Our leverage has changed. I really feel very strongly that we have to stand in unison and we have to stand together and we have to stand strong because, you know, we have leverage, and that leverage isn't just about having that strike authorization vote. It's about where we are today for women's basketball.
You all are really stuck on the revenue share.
That is correct. That is our number one priority. But in addition, which was not something that we had to think about until they brought to the table, was eliminating housing. Players are fighting very hard on that. Based on what they're proposing, players needing to find housing who are still making less than what the current max is. You know, you would essentially be spending half of your paycheck on housing, and that's if you stay on the same team, you know, let alone being able to have the resources to find housing in an appropriate area, somewhere that is safe, somewhere that's near the practice facility. There's just so many different scenarios. And with that as well, you know, I know a lot of players are passionate about having something in place for when they're done playing.
Any job that you labor in, you want to build something for the future, especially in sports. You can't do it forever.
Because you guys don't have a pension, is that correct?
No. We're not explicitly asking for pensions because I'm not quite sure if we're there yet, but we want to have something that can be provided for players who have retired.
Oh, and just like that, man, the WNBA was building up momentum. Caitlin Clark injuries. There was every time you turned around, they were saying, "Oh, WNBA stadium games are sold out. It's record-breaking numbers. They can
Revenue going through the charts.
revenue going through the charts, and it's looking like the higher ups in the league are saying like they don't believe it. They don't buy it. They've been down this road before. I mean, I remember when they in the beginning, when in the early 2000s, where they added a whole bunch of new teams. They thought revenue was going to start going up, and then it just went down. That's why some like the Houston comments and comments.
You're exactly right. They did an expansion early on, and they thought that this was like going to set the league on fire by having more competition, but they expanded way too soon. And, you know, even though they added teams, they ended up having to take away teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the league expanded, and then the league started shrinking. So, I mean, that's why you're looking at, super small playoff brackets and stuff.
Exactly, and that's why you see Adam Silver out here coming out here saying, "Oh, people need to start moving with urgency." And then you see Anika coming out here saying, "What you mean moving with urgency? Like we moving with urgency? Like you see that we want 27."
It takes forever to reply.
Exactly, but I mean that you're not reading in between the lines. Basically, what that means is Adam Silver saying like y'all want 27.5%. Right now, we gave y'all 14%. We ain't moving up no 27%. Worst case scenario, we might give you 19.
Yeah.
So
And
so this moving with urgency is like we got our number, we ain't moving up. You feel like, oh, we finna give you 27, it ain't happening. So either y'all finna take this or y'all finna take the L and leave. And I mean, I feel like what Nika's saying, how she's talking about how the players and how like they need like basically like a living fee and all that stuff. I feel like that's the thing that's on the chopping block. There are some certain things that's stopping them from getting a 20, 25, 27% that these WNBA
well,
girl
yeah,
players
that
aren't
that
taking
is a
away.
big expense if they are providing housing. I maybe do understand a little bit of a lower percentage, not going up to almost 30%, 27.5. But yeah, if they're providing housing, because that's a big expense,
Yep.
and they definitely were saying if they have to pay for housing, some of the players that may be like literally half of what they're making
Hmm.
just to find living, and then like if you're a player that gets traded mid-season, are you going to be financially able to like put stuff in storage, and then once you move, find a place for a decent price that's close enough, and then also be able to afford to get your stuff shipped to your new location, especially if you are playing on a league minimum, because the WNBA league minimum is way different than the NBA league minimum. If you're like a player that didn't get drafted, I think you make
Hmm.
basically like a little bit less than a million,
Yep.
or right at a million. And then once you get a veterans minimum, like you're making like 1.5, maybe up to 2 minimum if you've been in the league a few years and are are good enough to still be in the league, but making a minimum contract, you're still making millions of dollars. But with the WNBA, the minimum players are only making like $60,000, and depending on which location you're living. In Indiana, that may be perfectly fine, and you could ball out a little bit. But if you were playing for the New York Liberty, where are you going to be able to afford making 60,000 a year? That's anywhere by the facility.
Exactly, but that's not my problem. That's the league is saying that's not my problem anymore. If we going above this 20,
Players can't afford to. You're gonna have to live at the practice facility.
listen. Basically, what they're saying is, if you want this to go to
They
27 mark,
should.
if you want this to go up to 20 point whatever and go to 27 mark, you finna lose with these things. You ain't getting housing paid for. You finna get this revenue share of the gross. We not paying for your housing no more. That's on you now. This whole you going this all. Remember they just said it. We watched the video. The WNBA is the only league they can go. They can pay for the WNBA. They can pay for overseas. They can pay for unrivaled. They can get all these different checks. NBA can't do that. So they saying if you want this higher percentage, you ain't doing that no more. And these
Oh yeah,
WNBA players is like, no, we want to
yeah.
do
In the
that and we
NBA,
want to share.
in
They're
the
like,
NBA,
no.
in the NBA, they don't allow them to have secondary leagues.
Exactly. And what the NBA, basically what I'm saying is the league is saying, no, you're not getting all this. You're not getting the cake and the ice cream.
Yeah,
You're getting one or the other.
I
You
understand
pick
it.
one. So I understand you want to make 60K and you want living shares, and it may be great to live in Indiana, but New York you can't. You want pick one or the other.
You
You
know
want
what?
this revenue share. This is business. Unfortunately, this is how business works. And if you want to leave, guess what? We don't care because most people already say they don't care about the WNBA.
It was cool back in the day. Like right after I got out of high school, like I was maybe like 19, 20 years old. My buddy had an apartment, and we used to have a women's basketball team here called the Silver Stars before
Mm-hmm.
they moved to Vegas and became the Aces. But yeah, they definitely were even making lower money back then than they are now,
True.
and so they had to like room together. So like they would be like 2 or 3 girls to an apartment,
Uh-huh.
and they had like in a community pool and a community hot tub, and it was like open like all night. Like if you lived there, you could go there. So people would be there late. Everyone would always be drinking by the pool. There would always be like random parties, like kind of just like the people that live there,
True.
and they will always be down there. So we used to always hang out with them at the hot tub. Back in the day, the Silver
Mm-hmm.
Stars players. It was pretty cool, but it was like, dang, like you're you're
Pro.
a pro player, and you're basically living like the college students, where it's like how the college students like how they have the dorm,
Uh-huh. True. I mean, yeah,
and you're like, man, you're pro, like you think you should be balling out, but yeah, it's
but I mean, you
pay
should.
wasn't
But
crazy.
anybody will say that doesn't know sports. You clearly
Well,
you don't know sports.
I know. It's like at this point, because of revenue, I know they've allegedly never been profitable, and it's at this point it's basically like a charity. And at what point do the expenses get out of hand?
Exactly. And I just feel like, yeah, the WNBA is blowing up. Jersey sales are going off the roofs. They selling everywhere. But at the same time, I feel like the WNBA is under a microscope because, yeah, I mean, I just heard that they won a lot. They got enough money 2005 season where they got a little revenue. They got a little extra revenue to actually get some money to the players, extra little bonus to the players. But at the same time, the way the Unrivaled is going right now, the views ain't up there like it was last year.
Yeah, the views have dropped off. It
And
had a
that-
bunch of hype. See, what happened is Caitlin Clark's rookie season is what put the WNBA on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And like where it actually the Indiana Fever games were getting more views than some of the crappy NBA team games.
Yep.
So that's like when they were like some of the WNBA players were talking trash and like, calm down. It's not every game. It's only the Caitlin Clark games. So you had like Caitlin Clark doing her little playoff run and then losing, but having like one of the maybe the best rookie season of all time.
And then
the
second season she was hurt. Remember last year she was hurt.
That's what I'm getting into. Is that was her first season. So after that epic whole season of Caitlin Clark's craziness,
Mm-hmm.
you get the first season of that Unrivaled. So everyone's all high and mighty on women's basketball. So yeah, they jump in and they're watching all that like crazy, right?
Yep.
They're the wave keeps going. Caitlin Clark's second season, she only plays like 20-30% of the games. So like the viewership is way down across the league because she was literally the whole show of the WNBA. So then people were kind of like cool on the WNBA, and like the views was like, I think the WNBA finals, because they had the Aces, they did okay, they did better. But as far as the regular season went, it was like kind of a little bit of a down year as far as the hype. So then you could go into the off season, people are cool on it, and now Unrivaled and the what is the other one?
Well, I think the Unrivaled.
Yeah, is it because they have the one? Is that both Unrivaled, the 1-on-1 and the 3-on-3?
Yeah, the one that's Unrivaled. Yes, all Unrivaled. The Unrivaled they do the 1-on-1s, they do the 3-on-3s, they do all that in Unrivaled.
Yeah. So it's like they did that, and since like the league kind of had a down year as far as hype, they were hype on the extra stuff. I mean, they were down on the extra stuff.
Exactly.
So I think it can ride the wave as a positive one year, and if it's a down year, it could also go down with it.
Yeah, because it's looking right now. This WNBA season right now is already going down. I mean, they already overdue. Because remember we talked about the
we don't even know if we're gonna have a next season. That's by the way things are going.
And remember we talked about the expansion team. They had the Valkyrie coming. I think Valkyrie just came out. They were supposed to have the Toronto team that was supposed to be coming out.
The Valkyrie did pretty good when they came out, but that was also off the hype of Caitlin Clark's first season. Mm-hmm. So we got to see. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. I hope they can work it out. I hope Caitlin Clark stays healthy and we can get a lot of action in the WNBA. Because when Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese was missing a lot of games too. We have her in the picture there, and she was out too. So some of the faces had a lot of missed games last year. So hopefully the stars will stay healthy. We'll get some epic basketball.
Seen one of I think it was Sabrina. Was it Sabrina?
Isenzu from the Liberty.
She ended up signing. She got a deal overseas. Remember, we saw one of the players got a deal overseas right now. They just signed one.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it may be one where they can opt out if the league starts up, or I don't know if it'll finish before the season starts, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be like that one year when the NBA had the lockout, and instead of waiting, J.R. Smith was playing in China, and he had to wait till their season ended. So he came in like midway through the season. Yep. Oh, it was so cool because he was dropping like 50 points a game playing in China, and then he got on the Knicks. And I remember his first game with the Knicks, he hit like 5 or 6 threes. And it's like, look at JR doing great things. So inspirational, man. You got to give a shout out to all the New Jersey people.
Shout out all the New Jersey people.